Ocean Star on June 25th, 2021. Copies of the agenda were provided to the newspaper, posted on public bulletin boards and the Township website.
Thank you. Roll call?
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Here.
Councilman Minikino.
Here.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Here.
Councilman Mumalo.
Here.
Councilwoman Pontarera.
Here.
Vice President Halloran.
Here.
President Crate.
Here. This
Thank
time
you.
we'll have a salute to the flag and a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, please accept and file the reports of the municipal officers.
Okay, I will.
Can I get a motion and second to approve the minutes of the September 14th and 28th meetings?
Motion. Second.
Roll call?
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Abstain September 14th, yes to September 28th.
Councilman Minikino.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Mumalo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontarera.
Yes.
Vice President Halloran.
Yes.
President Crate.
Yes.
Thank you.
At this time, we are going to have a presentation from the Ocean County Business Development and Tourism. I'd like to please call up to the microphone Sandra Lazaro from Ocean County to present certificates to Beach Patrol members Robbie Brown, Angelina Graham, and John Prado, along with Dan Santinello, and the mayor and Councilwoman Zapsik, please. Did I do that wrong? No, they're here. Hi.
Good evening. I am here on behalf of the Board of Commissioners. Thank you, Mayor Ducey and the governing body for allowing me to present this. My name is Sandra Lazaro. I'm the Division Director of Business Development and Tourism for the County of Ocean. So, come on over. I'd like to present to you on behalf of the Board of Commissioners. We recognize your dedication to keep visitors and residents safe. From the sands, on the stands, as you keep a watchful eye on the throngs of visitors that come to relax and enjoy Ocean County beaches, your extensive training and professionalism makes you instinctively aware of the inherent danger and peril that comes from the Atlantic Ocean and the various waterways. Your quick thinking and response has saved the lives of many at the risk of your own. Your efforts to play an integral role in the success of the tourism season in Ocean County. Often, the unsung heroes of the seashore, this Board of Commissioners recognizes the hard work and dedication of the Beach Patrol. It's signed by Liaison Commissioner Joseph Vicari and also on behalf of all the Ocean County Board of Commissioners. Thank you so much for all your hard work.
Okay, all right. So, everybody might have heard we had a very crazy day. Actually, it was more like a week of riptides and everything, and unfortunately, one man had passed. So I just want to say our current and former lifeguards illustrate the long-standing tradition of service and commitment. And I'd like to give special thanks to Bobby and Mike Oriema, who are here with us tonight. After the beach is closed for the season, Bobby happened to be at the beach with his wife, and he saw 3 people go into the water. Okay, Michael, sorry. happened to be saw three people go into the water, knew right away that they're probably going to be getting into some trouble because of the conditions that particular day. And he went to his car. Michael went out to his car to grab his surfboard to go into action. And that's when his brother Bobby, who was also on the beach, saw his brother running with the board. I guess originally thought there may be waves, but found out eventually that he was out there when he noticed that his brother's out there rescuing the swimmers. They were told that there was another swimmer in distress, and they both went out and came back in, went back into the water and found a male unresponsive face down in the water. Together they managed to get the swimmer on their surfboard to keep him afloat until the Coast Guard arrived. Bobby formerly worked as a Parks Department part-time, and Michael worked as a lifeguard for Brick. So both of them are definitely excellent examples of genuine kindness and selflessness, thinking of others before themselves and putting themselves out, obviously at risk. But at least they knew what the conditions were before going in and have experience through the great training that our lifeguard program puts out there. So Brick Township is proud of the Oriema brothers and all Brick lifeguards, and I would like to ask you both to come on up for the next presentation. I do have a proclamation. The Brick Township public beaches have for years been guarded by a beach patrol and lifeguards with a reputation for excellence. Thousands of individuals are kept safe and provided guidance throughout the summer season thanks to the hard work of our beach patrol and the lifeguards that serve on the patrol. Lifeguards have a deep sense of responsibility and often practice and perform their duties under treacherous conditions. Lifeguards also maintain a positive relationship with residents and guests who enjoy our shoreline, but cautious and alert swimming in an area guarded by professional beach patrol is the responsibility of all beachgoers. I, John G. Ducey, the Mayor of the Township of Brick in the County of Ocean and the State of New Jersey, in recognition of their dedication and service to our residents and guests alike, do hereby proclaim tomorrow, Wednesday, October 13th, 2021, to be Beach Patrol and Lifeguard Appreciation Day.
Thank you. As someone who some years ago once officially sat in the seat now occupied by our Director of Recreation, Dan Santinello, I have long believed that Brick Township is the home to the safest, best guarded beaches on the Jersey Shore. So it's really a distinct honor for me to be able to present a resolution to the lifeguards tonight honoring their service. I think that what happened this year in other communities here in Ocean County really puts it first and foremost in all of our minds exactly how much we are asking of these young men and women. We are asking them literally to put their lives on the line. So I could not be prouder of our ocean lifeguards in Brick Township. Please accept this resolution on behalf of the council, recognizing you for your service.
Thank you. We are now going to move on to our consent agenda. Madam Clerk.
All matters listed under item consent agenda will be enacted by one motion in the form listed below. If discussion is desired on any item, this item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately.
Thank you. Resolution 4-1.
Recognize Brick Beach Patrol Lifeguards.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution recognizes Brick Beach Patrol lifeguards, that they have a deep sense of responsibility. They often practice and perform their duties under treacherous conditions, and they maintain a positive relationship with residents and guests who enjoy our shoreline. Thousands of individuals are kept safe and provided guidance throughout the summer season thanks to their hard work. Thank you.
Thank you. Resolution 4-2.
Authorize insertion of Chapter 159, Title 2B, Caregiver Grant 2021, additional monies.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes the insertion of $28,000 grant to the Township Senior Services Program. The funds are provided through the Ocean County Office of Senior Services as part of the Senior Caregiver Grant for 2021.
Thank you. Resolution 4-3.
Authorize cancellation of grant appropriated reserves and receivables.
Councilman Menachino.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes the cancellation of a grant appropriated reserves and receivables in programs where the funds cannot be spent within the contract period.
Thank you. Resolution 4-4.
Authorize application recreational opportunities for individuals with disabilities grant.
Councilwoman Pontorero.
Thank you, Madam President. This resolution authorizes the submission of an application to the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs Recreational Opportunities for Individuals with Disabilities Grant Program. The Township is requesting a grant in the amount of $11,000 for its Friends with Different Abilities Program operated through the Township's Recreation Department. Thank you.
Thank you. Resolution 4-5.
Authorize receipt of bids, VACCON parts, supplies, and repairs.
Council Vice President Halloran.
Thank you, Council President. This resolution authorizes the receipt of bids for VACCON parts, supplies, and repairs to the JetVac trucks. These JetVac trucks are used for everyday cleaning of the basins to prevent flooding. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Resolution 4-6.
Authorize award of bid bamboo removal services.
This resolution authorizes the award of bid for bamboo removal services to By Design Landscapes Lakewood in the amount of $44,550. This is a one-year contract that will end upon completion of the follow-up inspection and removal of regrowth. Bid notices were provided to 6 prospective bidders from our bidders list and 2 picked up packages. 1 bid was received with By Design Landscapes being the lowest responsive and responsible bidder. Resolution 4-7.
Authorize participation in Hunterdon County Educational Services Commission Cooperative Pricing System.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Thank you. This resolution authorizes the Township of Brick to enter into an agreement to participate in a cooperative pricing system for the provision and performance of goods and services. The primary benefit of becoming a member in this cooperative pricing system is access to a variety of contracts, including, but not limited to, athletic equipment, computer and printer supplies, health and medicine supplies, plumbing services, HVAC services, commercial flooring, office furniture, LED lighting, etc.
Thank you. Resolution 4-8.
Authorize the adoption of the Floodplain Management Plan.
Councilman Mumolo.
Thank you. This resolution approves and adopts the Township of Brick Floodplain Management Plan. The Township participates in the National Flood Insurance Program and has applied for a 5-year cycle for review of the National Flood Insurance Program's Community Rating System. In 2017, the Township received Class 6 rating that provides a reduction in flood insurance premiums and are required to produce an updated flood management plan for continued participation in the program. Township residents with flood insurance receive a 20% discount on their premiums based on the Township CRS rating. Thank you.
Thank you. Resolution 4-9.
Authorize special events permit blessing of the animals.
Councilwoman Pontorero.
Thank you again, Madam President. This resolution authorizes a special events permit for St. Paul's United Methodist Church to conduct the Blessing of the Animals event on Saturday, October 23rd, between the hours of 11 a.m. and 2 o'clock p.m. St. Paul's is located at 714 Herbertsville Road, and this is going to be a drive-through event, so you bring yourself, your family, your pets. They will direct you where to go, and your pets will get an individual blessing from the pastor. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Resolution 410, bond releases, Madam Clerk.
410A is a performance bond release for New Jersey Natural Gas on Manahawkin Road in the amount of $5,220. 410B is an inspection fund release for Brick Gardens Realty LLC on Hooper Avenue in the amount of $543.40. 410C is an inspection fund release for Colonial Funeral Home on Route 88 in the amount of $5.
Thank you. Resolution 411, Ms. Bergen.
Thank you so much.
So, 11A, Senate property cancel taxes for lot 673, lot 39, 39.01.
Been acquired by the Township of Brick. 11B, tax overpayments for 2021. There is one, Block 1124.02, Lot 32, in the amount of $3,523.17.
Thank you. That brings us to the end of our consent agenda. Can I get a motion and second?
Motion.
Second.
Open to council? Closed council, open to public on the resolutions only. Mr. Foster?
Sam Foster, 108 Teagle Drive. Two questions on two items here. One, number 4, on the recreational opportunities for individuals with disabilities grant. As you all know, I'm a disabled person. I just wanted to know, is this going to include things like chess, or what kind of, have you made any decisions about that yet?
Yes, Ms.
'Cause
Bergen?
I'm a big chess player.
Hi, Mr. Foster. So this is a camp program for...
Oh, okay, camp,
Yeah,
okay.
for younger folks.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Thank you for clarifying that. Okay, I'm 60 years old, so
Yep.
I would have felt funny showing up, so thank you. But like I said, I'm a big chess player, and Brick Library used to have a chess club there, but they shut it down years ago. Second thing is, this is on topic with bamboo, but I'm believing, from what I understand, the township bans the outdoor growing of bamboo, am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
that would make sense, yeah, because it is an invasive species in
Very.
towns. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Anyone else for public? Ms. Call?
Nan Call, 18 Greenbriar Boulevard. I have several that I want to ask questions about, but before I do, I have to comment on the fact that, number one, it says if anybody wants a discussion on it, it can be removed and considered separately. That's not what you do, not what you've ever done. However, in the beginning when I came here, and there was a caucus one week, public the next. And then when the immediate previous president to Mr. Ducey was the mayor, not the president, he was the president of the council, but then he went on to become the mayor, and they introduced this dashed caucus public meeting. And the reason they did it is because the week we had the caucus, it would go on for about an hour, and then the following week, all they had to do was run through the items the way you're doing it, or maybe with a little more information. Nobody is getting any information on these. How can you decide what's on a consent agenda when you're not supposed to discuss this except in front of us? And how did you agree that this is something that you're automatically going to vote yes? I count 1, 2, 3 at least attorneys here was my understanding, and I'm an old lady, maybe they taught me wrong, that attorneys were well-versed in Robert's Rules of Order, which is referenced in our code for Brick Township meetings. Nobody follows it. None of this has followed proper Robert's Rules. So I would like more information on the Title B caregiver grant. Who it's going to, what they're going to use it for, how might it help me?
Ms. Call, Title IIIB is used for social recreation and socialization activities through senior services. That's what that Title IIIB is used
And
for.
did I understand from reading outside of anything that's happening here that senior services is moving to Civic Plaza?
Two of their outreach workers have remained over at the VFW so we can have events, and the other ones have moved, yes, to the center of town to Civic Plaza so they are more accessible and they have more room to better serve our seniors.
Yes. And how do the seniors get there? But that's a subject for comments
We
about the
also have a
lack
senior
of
bus.
transportation in this town that has been going on for years with older people about it. Now, the bamboo. This is a one-year contract?
Yes.
Have we had a contract last year, the year before? And you know, I haven't been around for 2 years because of physical problems and causing me mobility problems. So I remember when we did put in the rule, we being the people who are supposed to consent to what you do about bamboo. It was a very previous council. I have a feeling there's nobody here tonight except the lovely ladies who really do their job well at this table that remembers that being brought up, the invasiveness of the bamboo and putting and acted. Is there something I'm saying that's particularly mirth-giving to you, Mr. Mobolo? I'm watching your face, and my perception is you have something wonderful to laugh about. Maybe it's me, and so be it if it is. Oh, right. Right, I'll watch you the rest of the meeting and say how often your face
Councilman Mumolo,
is.
just let her finish her. She's going to run out of time before she gets to her question.
I'm not going to run out of time because
Well,
you had no right, and the people.
Did you have a question about the bamboo, though?
The people who inserted 5 minutes into the rules for council meetings did it just to stop people like me from
Did you
saying
have a
things.
question about the bamboo, though? Like, we'd
Yes,
like to
I
answer it.
asked you.
What was
Did
the
we
question?
have a contract last year, the year before, and every year before?
We approved this contract this year, and Ms. Bergen, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but there was bamboo growing on what ended up part of township property, and it was invading into people's residential area that we had to take care of. We did not go out and
Was
plant
any
the
work-
bamboo, but
Was any work done on checking the growth of bamboo throughout this town since about 2006?
as it arises, we check on it. We don't go out and search out bamboo, but when people report that it's growing, then
So
yes.
I'm getting the impression that for last year, the year before, and several years before, nobody came up with needing to do something to check the stem of to stem the growth of the bamboo. Also, floodplain management plan. You should have been explaining that tonight. Do you have a copy of it for us to see? It should be a separate item, and you should make us aware what exactly is in it. No. And does it include man-made floods? Man-made because there is no oversight on what the planning department puts into the site plans for places like Greenbriar 2 to maintain grading and drainage, and now they flood. And those of us who have a basement, it erodes the cinder block walls. And that's true in both. The flooding in Greenbriar 1 that people said was caused by the parkway work. It was a lack of grading and drainage measures in Greenbriar because nobody knows that's their job. So for now, I'll let it go. But I have to say at this point, I don't think I have a shred of respect. Maybe one person I have a shred of respect for doing their job or even knowing their job.
Thank you. Anyone else for questions on the agenda? Mr. Finelli?
Vic Finelli, I just wanted to clear up, I'm not sure we got an answer about the bamboo, and that's what I had my questions about.
So what?
The bamboo.
What's your question, though? Like, what's the actual
Okay.
question? I'm sorry.
Two questions.
Yes.
This bamboo removal is all on public property?
It started on public property, but it started to invade into people's property, and that's when we had to act, yes.
Okay, so that's why you're acting now, because that referendum was passed like many years ago about no
Yes.
bamboo?
Yeah, and we don't know how that bamboo got on the public property. I mean, obviously, we didn't plant it, but it was there, and
But
it's our
from-
responsibility.
It's from bamboo that's on,
Township
public
property.
property.
Township property, yes.
okay, thank you.
Which probably came from someone else's property, but we wouldn't know from where, so.
Well, it's the most invasive thing, but
Yes.
it goes underground.
Yes, absolutely. We totally agree. Anyone else from public on the agenda items? Sir?
It's my first time here. I just moved into Brick about 2 years ago. I actually am suffering from that issue with bamboo.
Oh, yes,
I'm-
just state your name and address.
My name is Michael.
Yes, thank you.
I am from National Avenue. I'm just curious as to when BDL will be commencing this job.
Okay. Ms. Bergen, I'm going to send that to you.
Hi, Michael, how are you?
How you doing?
So, once the council awards a contract tonight, when we're completed with the meeting, if that is indeed what happens,
Right.
we will contact the contractor. We'll ask him to come in for a pre-construction meeting. I have to write letters to all of the private property owners that are involved. They have to sign off, recognizing that we have to do work on their private property. So the next step would be notification from my office about the project, and if it involves your property, what we need to do and when, so we can engage all the property owners who are
Okay.
impacted by this.
I'm just curious because I've been calling for about 2 years now since I moved in, and nothing's been done.
Well, it took us this long to get here, because we went out to bid, as you guys, the council remembers, we went out to bid, we awarded a contract, we were excited to get moving on this well over a year ago, and then that contractor
Correct.
balked and said, you know what, sue me if you want, but I can't do the job for the price I bid. We had to go back out, we didn't get any bids, we solicited different companies to submit a bid so we could get moving, so that took us a long time to get an engaged contractor to submit a proposal, so we're very happy
Yeah, I
that we
actually
have one.
found him, so.
Yeah, so
I'm
thank
the
you
one that
for your help.
recommended him for
Oh,
the
thank
job
you.
because it's like 2 summers now
Yeah.
that I can't enjoy my home. Granted, I've been
Yeah.
deployed a few times the last 2 years over the summers. I haven't been here, but my first summer here, I cannot enjoy my property. So it's like I'm paying my property tax. If I don't pay that property tax, you guys are knocking on my door. And all I ask is to have this issue resolved because now I have ticks, reptiles, a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't help us to have it go on, because the longer it goes on, the bigger job it is. So we
Absolutely.
have really tried, as you know, because we've been in touch many times about where we're at and what's occurred. But this is a huge milestone for us tonight.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. We appreciate your help. Anyone else for agenda items? Seeing none, close public, roll call?
Councilwoman Zepsic.
Yes.
Councilman Menachino.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Mumalo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontoriero.
Yes.
Vice President Halloran.
Yes.
President Crate.
Yes. We're on
Thank
to 412, computer bill resolution.
Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brick that the following bills be paid, and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to draw orders on the treasurer for the amounts of the same. Computer bill resolution in the amount of $10,504,498.73.
Can I get a motion and second?
Motion.
Second.
Open to council. Close council, open to public for questions on the computer bill, I can't say it tonight, computer bill resolution only. Seeing none, close public, roll call?
Councilwoman Zepsic.
Yes.
Councilman Menachino.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Mumalo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontoriero.
Yes.
Vice President Halloran.
Yes.
President Crate.
Yes. We're on to 413, manual bill resolution.
Be it resolved by the Township Council of the Township of Brick that the following bills be paid, and that the mayor and clerk be and are hereby authorized to draw orders on the treasurer for the amounts of the same. Manual bill resolution in the amount of $1,741,240.66.
Thank you. Can I get a motion and second?
Motion.
Second.
Open to council. Closed council, open to public on questions on the manual bill resolution only. Seeing none, closed public, roll call.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilman Menachino.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Mumalo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontoriero.
Yes.
Vice President Halloran.
Yes.
President Crate.
Yes. We're on to 5-1, ordinance on first reading.
An ordinance of the Township of Brick, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 196, captioned Flood Damage Prevention.
Councilman Mumalo.
Thank you. In order to meet new requirement for the Community Rating System, CRS prerequisite, the township must revise its flood damage prevention ordinance to include the language regarding mobile homes in flood zones. Township planner and township engineer worked on this ordinance to ensure compliance and consistency with flood prevention regulations. The revisions include language requiring mobile homes and mobile home parks to meet a 1 foot of freeboard requirement and language prohibiting dumping in drainage systems. All the changes to the existing flood damage prevention ordinance are contained in section 196-17 and section 196-18 for number 1, a 1 foot freeboard requirement for mobile homes and mobile home parks. Number 2, prohibiting of dumping in the drainage systems. There is also a change in the appeals sections. Currently, appeals are heard by the Ocean County Construction Board of Appeals. Because it's an engineering function and not a construction function, the CRS reviewers want the appeal process to change to function to the Township Planning Board. This ordinance includes this modification. The ordinance will go before the Township Planning Board as required tomorrow evening, October 13th, and then back to council for second reading, public hearing, and adoption on October 26th. Thank you.
Thank you. Can I get a motion and second?
Motion. Second.
Open to council. Closed council. Roll call.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Yes.
Councilman Menachino.
Yes.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Yes.
Councilman Mumalo.
Yes.
Councilwoman Pontoriero.
Yes.
Vice President Halloran.
Yes.
President Crate.
Yes. All right, we are on to public comments. Madam Clerk.
Please note that each person addressing the council during any section of the meeting during which public comment is permitted shall limit his or her remarks to 5 minutes pursuant to Brick Township Administrative Code, Section 2-33B.
Thank you. Can I have anyone from public? Mr. Sluka?
Good evening. I'm going to read my short letter. John Sluka, 950 Sylvia Court. Dear Mayor Ducey, Council President Lisa Crate, and all the councilwomen and councilmen. The New Jersey Turnpike Authority Commissioners have injured and damaged many lives in various ways, including the noise, the toxins, and traffic damage surrounding the Garden State Parkway. Whether it be the children, the seniors, the workers, or the residents, there is no way to defend against the toxins forced upon us all by those commissioners. Children cannot avoid asthma. Pregnant moms may have autistic children. Workers and residents of Brick will continue to develop COPD, and our seniors will prematurely die from various heart and lung illnesses, at least in part from the ill effects related to the Garden State Parkway traffic. 14 to 20 foot high walls and natural forestation are needed around Evergreen Woods Condo and so many other areas in Brick. All areas adjacent to the Garden State Parkway, including Evergreen Woods, Brick High School, Cherrywood Farms, Sutton Village, Plains Mill School, Greenbriar, Briar Mill, Town Hall, Birchwood Park, Primrose Gardens, and others should immediately be addressed by the New Jersey Turnpike Authority. The toxins are killing our seniors, harming our children, and hurting the development of babies yet to be born. We must take action through all means, including legal action, if the Turnpike Commissioners will not do the right thing on their own. Thanks for your time. I yield back 3 minutes and 20 seconds.
Thank you. Anyone else from public? Mr. Foster?
I can take my mask off, right? I did before, so. Sam Foster, 108 Chico Drive. Just a couple points here. One, my cell phone, I gotta go back to new pad. This is my digital notes. Stupid phone. I'm sorry, bear with me. Technical difficulties. First, I want to thank you. I spoke with the mayor before the meeting. I want to thank you about bringing back the brick TNR program. I'm a little bit hazy about if it's different from the other one, but we used to meet in the brick Civic Plaza, and it's very good that Township is allowing TNR to meet in the municipal building here, because we always had a difficulty finding a place to meet. So I want to thank the mayor and the council, whoever's, I guess it's all of you, a team effort there, but it's an important program, and I supported it for years, and thank you for that. I was telling him I live in Birchwood Park, and we have some people there that just go overboard with the cats. Like one neighbor, I'm not going to mention names, but they know who it was, had like 15 cats, and it was like crossing the street, coming home at night, you know, I see this movement. I don't know what it is. It's like a herd of cats. Like, it looks like the Serengeti in Africa with the gazelles, or those, you know. I said, well, oh my God, all these cats. But it is a good program that we have. I know that Councilwoman Pontiero, used to meet at the program when we had it at Brick Civic Plaza. Now it's Councilwoman Zapsik. So thank you for supporting that program. It's very important. That's one thing. And I wanted to say that I happen to agree with Nan Call about the consent agenda. I attend Tom's River council meetings. I have been for several years, because I'm planning on moving to Tom's River. And I noticed that when they have the same format here, the consent agenda, and it's in bold just like we have here. But they ask before the consent agenda vote is taken if anybody would like to, has any comment on any resolution. And if anybody says yes, whether it's a council member or a member of the public, they set that aside and they speak on, they allow people to speak their mind about it and discuss it. Then there's a discussion, and then the vote is taken on all of them. So I agree with Nan about that. I'm not sure about the Robert's Rules of Procedure. I'm not as technical as she is about that, but I'm not as knowledgeable about that as she is, but I would defer to her, because she seems to really speak. So I would hope that that'll be done in the future, to ask for discussion before you take a vote, so you can hear some issues, because sometimes Tom's River has issues, and after a discussion, the council would pull that, and they would debate on whether that has not been voted on in the future, because the concerns raised by the citizens. It's a good way to get feedback from the public about an issue, to make sure that our voices are heard. And sometimes we have a perspective that the administration in general does not have. So I just hope that you would consider that. And I also wanted to say that I also agree with Nan about Mr. Starkey, because I've had problems with him in the past when he sits over there. And this is also, we had problems in the past with some council members, some of whom are no longer here, like Councilman Fosman, good riddance. And I would say that as a former supporter of his, so I was very disappointed in his conduct. But we need to have civility during these meetings. And I want to say also, again, I attend Tom's River council meetings, and when someone misbehaves, regardless if it's a member of the public or whether it's a member of the administration, they reprimand a person. I know that Councilwoman Marika, Dominic, I forgot his name now. Brando. Yeah, he got in some very heated arguments with the mayor. He doesn't like him for some reason, and they would go into executive session, I think it's called, and they reprimanded him like 3 times in 1 year. And it kind of got him under control, but other people as well. And I just think that we should really make sure that we have civility here, because in the past we've had meetings that got out of control. You all know, I'm not going to dwell on it, about how I was assaulted when I was leaving a council meeting when Councilwoman DeYoung was in charge of the meeting, and we just can't have that. And both myself and Nan Call were heckled by people in the meeting, and I just hope that we would, it's important that the administration sets a good example. And I think that overall, I've complimented before Council President Crate, that you've been doing a good job keeping order in the meeting. Although, like I said, we don't have the troublemaker Fosman here anymore. With you all, you're smiling, so. But you know, we all know what, we all saw the videos on the meeting. He'd nitpick about the most minute things, and I just got disgusted with it. And I supported him when mayor, and he ran for council. And we need to make sure that we understand that we need to have a dialogue, but we need to have a proper dialogue. It's not right, you know, like Mr. Starkey would snicker and laugh at me when I was speaking during one meeting, and you just can't have that. And it's important, you're figures of authority here, and you set the standard, and we need to make sure that the standards are a proper one. And I want to say that I want to compliment this council, because all of you have been very professional and courteous to the public. We haven't had any outbursts, and like I said, I know a great deal of it was the former, you know, problems that we had with, you know, Bill. But I want to thank all of you for the way you've conducted yourselves. And I want to say that all of you have made Brick Township proud in the way you have conducted yourselves in an honorable, professional manner during council meetings. No screaming at anybody, nothing like we had in the past. So I want to thank all of you for the professionalism and making Brick Township look good. So thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Call?
Something. Nankall, 18 Greenbriar Boulevard. And 5 minutes is not enough for anybody to get out a lot of their comments or questions even. Before I say anything else, I would like to ask Mayor Ducey if he remembers the first meeting you presided over as president of the council, and the mayor prior to you acted with unabashed shame. And there was one old lady, not as old as I am now, in the audience, who called him out on it each and every time that he attacked you personally and his family members, to the point that I upset the people in the Republican Party who knew me. I had been a member until after that, and they blocked my exiting from the conference room, which was not the proper place to hold the meeting, but not your fault, it was theirs. So I don't just attack the opposition party, the opposition right now being the Democrats as far as I'm concerned, because not one of you, and I've asked in the past, who represents me here? Anybody in my age category? Anybody dealing with the problems in a homeowner association? That one councilwoman said she was going to help us that deal with problems and never did anything. I came from Brooklyn, New York, where you didn't go to these kind of meetings, but we had a civic association. And yes, I went there, but they were run the way a proper meeting should be. And I would like you to hire a professional parliamentarian. I've said it before, but you're all new people now. And I gave a copy of Robert's Rules of Order in brief, which was a very easy to understand book. I gave notes from a professional parliamentarian when I took a seminar that was part of how I became the parliamentarian for the Federation of New Jersey Chapters of the National Association of Active and Retired Federal Employees. And I'm not even sure if the gentleman's still alive, but he gave me permission at that time to pass the notes on. And you don't do anything the way the notes say you should. So it's really derelict. And I would like to ask the mayor and the council on the alternate Tuesdays when you don't have a caucus meeting like you should, to have a town hall type of forum where the people in the town can come and opine about what's bothering them, what they need help with, who do they go to. I came here and I came from another state. I knew nothing. I was prevented from getting literature about homeowner associations because of something, and one of the things that at the Civic Association, they wound up getting the Secretary of State to come, and I was one of the people that spoke that I couldn't get the information I needed about the regulations to do with the type of property I wanted to buy. And I did not get it when I should have. I should have had it before contract. Should have definitely had it before closing. It was after closing that I went to the homeowner, to the office of the administrator, just to say, this is my husband and we're the new owners of this property. Then I got bylaws and rules and regulations. I started a couple of months later, when everything was settled down, to read the bylaws. And I went to the administrator and says, what is this covenants that it refers to, that everything is subordinate to? Well, that was the Articles of Incorporation, I found out. And their rules and regulations to this day are in contrast to what the covenant says. Things like the Architectural Control Committee, which was for the purpose of the developer keeping a certain vision in view, that you'd have to go if you wanted to paint your home. And they still tell us we have to go before them. No, no, no. I own a piece of property 50 by 100, and there is a community association institute that Wendell Smith was one of the founders, and he has written what I refer to as the Bible. You cannot tell me what to do on my property. Doesn't matter. That's for condominiums and cooperatives. You really need to start getting a hold. If you really want our vote, a good reference, you need to start being in touch with us and broaden your knowledge of what's going on in the town and what our needs are. It's disgraceful. One last closing comment. I consider what goes on nepotism and an incestuous relationship where everybody gives their family things.
Thank you. Anyone else from public? Sir?
Is this on?
Yes.
Good.
It's working this week.
Good. I'm Joe Worth, 30 Cleveland Ave. And I just wanted to say good evening, Mayor Ducey, the administration, and our esteemed council. As you know, the illegal school at 200 Van Zyl Road is under court order to submit a site plan and application by close of business tomorrow. Will the township commit to acting immediately on David Gluck if he fails to do so? And if so, what actions will you be taking?
Yes, I'm going to send that over to either the mayor or our council.
Yeah, so that's before the judge. So the judge would take the action. I don't think there's going to be a site plan by tomorrow because there is no electricity out there, so they haven't done any work. So I'm assuming that it's not going to be, and then the judge, it's in the judge's court. He's the one who makes the decisions of what to do.
Yeah, if I can just give you a little bit of background, I think might explain where we are. The judge entered an order that the school is to remain closed, subject to the submission of a full site plan, and there's another component to the completion of what are called UCC problems at the site, which means there was work done at the site without proper permits and inspections. So the judge ordered that this property owner, the owner of the school, has to do what all other property owners in town are required to do, go through the same procedures. So there's two things. They have to submit a site plan because there's been a change in use from the temple to the school, and they need to submit applications, permits, and get inspections for the work that was done or that needed to be done to make sure it's a proper functioning school. Neither of those two things have been done. So far, you're right, the site plan is due tomorrow. We don't expect to be receiving one. Usually we get communication from engineers and professionals. So we don't think that's going to be, I'm actually pretty confident that's not going to be submitted tomorrow. The applications and permits have not been sought from the town. They haven't been issued for the work inside the building. So, under the judge's order, it's within, the mayor's right, it's within the judge's discretion, but the judge's order now says the school is to remain closed until those things have been completed. The judge is going to hold a status conference on October 14th, 2 days from now. And I think really the purpose of that was to monitor things and make sure that what he was requiring to be done were in fact done. It'll be up to the judge what to do at that status conference. If in fact, as it appears, those two things have not been accomplished. But we'll abide by his order. I have a sense of what it's going to be, but I don't want to, it's within the judge's discretion as to what to do now. But his requirements have not been met.
Okay, I guess if somehow possible the judge lifts the order, will we immediately appeal? Would you commit to that?
If the judge ordered the school to be open without a proper site plan and proper inspections and permits, I expect there would be an appeal. Having said that, I don't anticipate it will come to that decision at this point, but we will have to see what happens on Thursday.
Thank you very much. Respectfully, have a good evening.
Thank you. You as well. Anyone else from public? Mr. Finelli? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, sorry, I didn't see your hand go up.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, just need your name.
Trish McCarthy, 226 Pella Road. First, I have a question. You mentioned no electricity at 200 Van Zyl?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, I was shaking my head.
There is electricity there. They were there last night.
Right. What happened was that there are 3 structures on the property. The township has deemed one of those structures to be unsafe, and we notified JCP&L. JCP&L went out and this was, I think, maybe 3 days ago, turned off the power, did an investigation of their own, determined it was unsafe, and turned off the power. They turned off the power to all 3 of the buildings, even though the focus was on the one that was unsafe. The property owner then reached out to them, and JCP&L, I think, confirmed with the town that only one of them was deemed unsafe, and I think it was late yesterday, JCP&L turned the power back onto the 2 buildings that were not unsafe.
Okay. I have a question because, as you know, we have an alleged illegal dorm in the neighborhood. Yesterday, as I understand it, video evidence was sent to the zoning officer showing multiple credible sources that 18 mattresses were being removed from the property last week. And I was just curious, because we've seen in the neighborhood, marching of various people to the dorm. If a ruling on the 18th against David Gluck for overcrowding, will this shut down the illegal dorms in our neighborhood?
That matter is, the first matter I talked about is for the county. It's before Judge Wallerson about the illegal school. The residential overcrowding is before the Brick Municipal Court. And that their summonses have been issued, a notice of violation has been issued for overcrowding, and that is currently pending before the municipal court. The municipal court, I think there was just one appearance on October, I think it was the 4th, and that was then adjourned to the 18th. So there has been no action by the municipal court. What has happened will depend on the municipal judge, what evidence is presented and what action he deems appropriate.
Okay. And finally, because my property backs up to the temple, I would like clarification on notification. If they do ever come forward with a site plan or anything like that, I'd like to know how many feet from the property line, do people get notified?
Sure, that's not a township rule, that's a state rule. It's under the municipal land use law, state statute, and it's any property within 200 feet of that property gets personal notice, meaning certified mail delivered to their homes. So the 200 feet is measured, if you can imagine, like a circle around the property line, around the property. Anyone who owns property within that area gets notice of it. There's also notice published in the, I believe it's the Asbury Park Press, and on the township website. And then there will be when a site plan is submitted, state law also requires us to hold, and we would hold a hearing, it'll be in this room before the planning board, at which members of the public can attend, participate, comment, offer testimony, what have you on that. That has not been scheduled because the site plan has not been submitted.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Ma'am?
Hi, Melinda Murray. I wanted to ask you guys about commercial property and containers, like shipping containers. On Route 88, it's next to the hospital, 1610, 1608. Right on Route 88, there's 3 huge shipping containers for well more than a year. Now, I spoke to Mr. Newman. He's extremely knowledgeable. He gives you a lot of what, he really is, it was good. It just doesn't help me. It doesn't help my neighborhood. We've been complaining, and not just me, we've been complaining for well over a year. One inspector went out there and then told me he had a hard time finding out who the property management was, so I got in my car and I drove 3 blocks and talked to the guy because he was standing in the hallway. And it says property management in between the 2 elevators and gives you the office you can go to if he's not standing in the hallway. But apparently, the way our rules read, that for every project, they're allowed a container. And it doesn't say what the size of that container is. Now, the containers that are there, there's 6 of them. Now they condoed the place out, so it's no longer like one building where a doctor's renting an office and you're renting an office and I'm renting an office. They each own it, which I don't know how I missed that, but I did. It's all condos now. So now each one of them, if they have a project going on, is allowed to have a container. Right now there's 6 of them there. I had relatives come from up north and ask me where Lakewood stopped and Brick started. That's what they asked me. So I was like, well, how long are they allowed to leave these containers there? Because when I spoke to the property manager, George, no last name, he said that what was being stored in there was not building supplies. And they are doing projects, different places in one building. But it's not, it's for nursing homes that are not in this area. Nursing homes that somebody in there owns that are not even in this area, not directly like on Jack Martin or in our medical plazas or nothing. So like Mr. Newman said, well, how do you prove it? I'm like, well, he told me. But you can't go look without a warrant. I mean, I've got pictures of guys coming out of there with stuff for nursing homes on hand trucks. But I guess that doesn't hold up. I don't know. Is there anything that you guys can do or another board can do to maybe like restrict the size, the time limit they can have it? I don't know how I missed that turning into a condo, but like forever it's going to look like part of Newark. They've got 6, and they, even if they move them to the back of the building, but they're smack dab on Route 88, where they also, people do some car washing there. They were selling something. 2 weeks ago, they had stuff set up that they were selling, some kids and some women. And then a couple of months ago, I pulled in there because there was a car cleaning thing going on. And I figured it was like a donation thing, get my car cleaned, but it wasn't. It was for some holiday. There was illegal electric hooked up. I mean, it's honestly getting to look, it's bad enough the hospital put in that light. Whoever gave them that light that changes colors, love you long time light, that I have to see every time I pull out of my neighborhood. Now I gotta look at containers all the time too. You know what I mean? Like, could there be a restriction on the size, the time that they can have them, the time they have to get a project? Put them behind the building. If they were behind the building, I never would have known they were there for over a year. Like, why did these people have to stick them right there? What's the difference? They're walking all the way out to Route 88. If they come out any back door there, it's like from here to the wall that they'd have to walk. But they're coming out and they're walking all the way out to 88 to get supplies for a nursing home that isn't even in this area, isn't even for residents of this town. can we like try to do something about it? It's looking really crappy. There's no other word for it. And it's just getting crappier and crappier.
We would have to talk about it in one of our committees. I know we've spoken about trailers and land use before and the use of them for storage, and that's something, I guess.
These are actually, they don't even say like pods, like somebody's moving
No,
and
we're
has.
like
These
actual,
are like
tractor
actual
trailers, yeah.
These are storage containers that are like, the ships that are sitting out in the ocean with all
Yeah.
all the stuff we want. That's what these are.
Council
Sea
President,
containers.
You're looking at the hospital, is it to the left?
I'm trying to picture where you're
It's,
talking about.
so it's like if you're coming down Route 88 from here, if you turn at the bowling alley, okay, it's right before the hospital on the same side as the hospital. It's 1610 and 1608, Route 88.
Where the building is, that like office building?
Yeah, there's like two or three office buildings.
Big, large building.
Right, but you
to the
can't get
left.
to the hospital from there. It's like
Correct,
two
it's
separate
like one
parking
parking lot
Yeah.
over.
Yeah,
Okay.
so there's 3 containers out front, then there's 3 containers out back, then there's a bunch of little dumpsters, then there's a big dumpster, and they conduit it. So apparently, because they conduit it, they're allowed to do this. So like if we all had a place there, and we all had a project going on, we could all lie and say that we were keeping stuff for our project in there that we're not keeping in there. Because otherwise, we need a warrant to look at each other's stuff. I don't know why other people that own things in there aren't complaining, because like as a patient of a doctor in there, and my husband is a patient of a doctor in there, I have to go in there. And like if I go into my doctor's office, it looks like crap, I don't want to go there no more. You know what I mean? I want to find a doctor that has a clean, nice parking lot, nice office, not building supplies inside the building. You know what I mean? So at this point, that's what we're doing, looking for different doctors.
Okay, so we can't give you an answer tonight, but we can certainly have, that we've taken the address down, we can have some, we can go out and look at it and see what that looks like. And
That would be cool. Thank you.
If you want to leave your number
Yeah.
with the secretary. Sure.
Thank you. Anyone else from public? Sir? Can you just say it into the microphone, that way that they pick it up on the notes? Thank you.
I'm Harrison, 240 Sunrise.
Thank you.
Lift the mic up, sir.
I'm curious about the synagogue that's going to continue to build the school, supposedly.
Can you pick up the mic? I'm having trouble.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Sorry about that.
Thank you.
He's old, he can't
I'm
hear.
concerned about the traffic patterns that are going to occur when you have another school, supposedly that they want to open. When you have a vet school, you have a church right down the street, and right now, even when we walk out there, the traffic patterns are pretty packed. And now we're talking about a boys' school, which is going to have buses and utility vehicles bringing people in and out. So, when they go ahead and they submit the site plan, are all those things accounted for? Is there a study done? Is there something that is going to, maybe they could submit their site plan, but what about anybody else? Does anybody else do a study to find out exactly how it'll affect the community around it?
Yeah, if I can, that's, what you're saying is exactly what happens for the planning board. The way it works is they submit their site plan, and they have to address things like traffic patterns, where the buses go, where the parking is going to be, what times of day people are going to be using it. And they've got to submit that to the planning board. The planning board then has its own professionals, has an engineer and has a planner that, as does the town, has professionals that look at that and then ask questions. What about this? What about that? We don't think this is going to work, or we think this needs to be modified. There's a back and forth. That's often happens before the planning board hearing. Then at the planning board hearing, there is often more testimony, more input. The public gets to have input, and then ultimately the planning board makes a decision. So the site plan that's submitted by any applicant, not just this one, any applicant comes in, is sort of their proposal of how it can be done. But the planning board is ultimately the one that decides how it is going to be done.
Okay, and the only other concern I really have, I appreciate that.
Sure.
The only other concern I have is that since day one, since the purchase of this synagogue, they've kind of been deceptive since day one. It was purchased as a synagogue, it was supposed to be a synagogue, house of worship, then they use it as a school, then there's buses transporting, I don't know, late at night, there's homes being bought. So with all this, what seems to be deception to me, they seem to be getting this consideration to do things, yet they've been not telling the truth since day one. So it's just a concern of mine. I hope it's a concern of you as well, because they haven't been operating within the laws of the town since day one. So,
Yeah,
that's really
we had to file a lawsuit against them, which is not unheard of. We've had to do it against a couple other property owners, but this is a prime example. I mean, we had to file, we had no choice. If some people aren't happy we filed a lawsuit, I don't care. But we had to do it. You have to make people follow the laws. That's what it's about.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else from public? Mr. Finelli, I'm going to let you go first.
That time of the year again. I brought this up last year, I'm bringing it up again. It's election time.
Oh, my God, I don't know what time of year it is.
Yes.
I was wondering what time of year it was.
Signs are going out. The first two signs that I saw were yours, and they're on Angela Hibbert Park. That's against the rules. They can only go on private property. All right? Now, before somebody tells me, well, we didn't put them there, I don't really care who put them there. Your names are on them, all right? You put them up on, you give out signs to people, give them the rules, and tell them it can only go on private property, not in parks. I've been trying to get those signs taken down for 2 weeks, where there was 2 of them. Then somebody else from the other party says, oh, their signs are there, I put my signs up. Now there's 6 signs there. And this is an issue every year. If you're gonna run for election, you're gonna put signs out, you give them to the people, and you tell them they can't go in parks, they can't go on islands in the street, and everything else. That's a beautiful park, it's one of the nicest things you ever did. I'm constantly on the phone getting the broken fence rails replaced. Everybody uses it, and it's gonna look like hell. How many signs are gonna be there by election day? There's already 6. You gotta take accountability if you're gonna run, follow the rules like we want everybody else to do. And several years ago, the mayor probably forgot, he told me I could take the signs down if I wanted.
Yeah, you can.
Absolutely.
You certainly can.
I'd say it again. I can
Take the signs
Anything
down.
on public property, we'll have code enforcement do it.
I'll take them down on the way home.
I know some of our
Sure.
police have
But I
taken them
want
down.
it on public record that you told me I could.
Of course.
Okay,
They should be on private property.
okay.
We're in agreement.
But they're yours, they're yours, they're yours. They get your names on it.
Okay.
Okay? Otherwise, I'm gonna charge you $2,000 a day. No. I hope you collect that money. One other thing with, 2 other things. Along with election day, and we get our tax bill in the mail, and we get the letter, and I get all the flyers about how good we're doing and all the other things and how much money we're saving. And then the tax bill comes in, and I look at the tax bill and I compare it to last year. And that's what I go by. No matter what you say, what anybody else says, I look at my tax bill, how much did I pay last year, how much do I pay in this year? And one of the things you like to always reiterate, that the municipality is only 30-something% of the budget, the school is 60, everybody else. Well, when I compare this year's to last year's, 50% of the increase in my tax bill is in the municipal section. That's not even talking about the municipal space thing, just municipal. 50%. Can anybody tell me why that is? With the school tax going up 2% max every year, 50% of my total increase was in this room?
It makes no sense. You'd have to bring it in and talk to the tax collector.
Everybody's tax looks different.
Well, I can tell you what it was. I mean, my tax bill was $4,012. Now it's $4,094. The rate was .732. Now it's 747. I'm assuming that everybody else's went up the same. They just didn't look at it. But you say you're only 35% of the budget, but you were 50% of the increase this year. So it's really something you need to look at. Not I need to look at. I looked at it already. Right? That's what it is. I don't. My tax rate isn't different than somebody else's. They're all the same, right? I'll go home and look
Should
at
be.
yours.
I don't know.
Look at yours.
Mine should be the same.
You went up 50% increase this year. And my last question was anybody surprised, because I've talked about the census and whatnot, when the census numbers came out, Rick actually went down 2,000 people in the last 10 years. Was anybody surprised by that?
No.
No? Of course. I remember hearing people talking about 77,000 when it was 75, and now it's 73. Does anybody here know what segment of the population that was that we lost 2,000 people?
Basically primary homeowners. A lot of people bought second homes here, and they don't count in the census. So the homes are still occupied. They're just occupied by somebody who has an address from north of the bridge or New York.
Is that what you think?
Yeah.
Okay. Nobody
Yeah.
watched the school board meeting last month, right?
They don't have kids.
The 2,000 people,
Yeah, the second homeowners don't have kids because their kids go to school at their other address, yes.
so it's the second homeowners moving in their kids? Is that what you're saying, second homeowners?
So when you own a second home, it's for the, most of the time for the summer, for weekends, although during COVID, it feels like everybody's here all the time. The kids go to school where they live, up in North Jersey or New York. So there's less kids because there's no kids in those houses. There's kids in those houses when you go there on a weekend or obviously all summer, things like that. But they're not there, they're not part of our school system because they're people who don't live here.
For the 2,000 students that we went down in the last 10 years? Well, that's where it is. That's
Right.
where it is. 2,000 students less in the last 10 years. Well, they all graduated? No, that's not even true in the Brick School District either, that they all graduated. If you look at the numbers, you're going to see something a little different, but just keep that in mind when you're making decisions, because now we have something different now that we didn't have 10 years ago, and that's called pre-K. And there's a couple hundred, 300, 400 students that are going to be added to that number to drive it back up a little bit, so don't think that Mr. Finelli was wrong when he said you went down 2,000 students because we started pre-K this year. But what you're going to see is more and more of the older people leaving now. Thank you.
Anyone else from public? Matt?
Hi, I'm Lori DiGregorio, 235 Pello Road. Back to the synagogue. Just one last quick question. I read that the synagogue doesn't feel that they need to submit a site plan because it's been used prior as a school. Have you heard that at all? And how would you address that if they do come back with that?
The judge ordered them to submit one, so they,
I know, but
yeah.
they're saying, I've read that they're saying that they don't need that site plan because previously the temple used it already as a school. So,
It was, the temple used it as for classes, for- right,
Yeah.
right. And the judge is aware of that,
okay,
and the judge ruled that that's been a site plan because it's a change of use. In other words, that's not an argument that,
okay, so they can't bring that up as an argument?
they did bring it up.
They did
And the
bring it
judge
up.
heard it and said, I'm going to require a full site plan because it's a change of use.
All right,
Right.
thanks.
Thank you. Anyone else from public? Sir?
Hello again, I'm John DiGregorio, 235 Pello Road. I just wanted to add on to what Lori was saying because we know the rabbi and Susan who used to preside over there at Temple Bethor, and just speaking with them, they're saying it really wasn't like a school. You know, if it was maybe 4 or 5 hours a week, that was one thing, but they weren't busing in hundreds of students like each and every month, and it's a whole other group. So I just wanted to put that on record because I know you were just saying that the judge is aware that they are trying to grandfather it in as it was once a school, and it is, you know, that it should still be allowed as a school. But as long as that's on record, maybe, you know, hopefully the judge knows that as well, that it was the CCD, it just maybe 4 hours a week.
Thank you. Anyone else from public? Seeing none, close public, thank you. And we are on to council comments. Ms. Bergen.
I'm going to go off book a little bit and actually say something tonight, but I couldn't help myself when we talked about the lifeguards and their savings. Cam, would you get John? I wanted to mention that Special Police Officer John Kitch very, very recently went into the ocean and completed a rescue and saved someone who was in distress, all on his own, on the beach, saw somebody in trouble and saved a life. So there's a lot more than that. So it seemed appropriate to mention that tonight.
That was well worth going off script, thank you. Yes. Mayor?
Thank you. All right. So we had a very successful craft fair and town-wide yard sale over the weekend. You know, wish the weather could have been a little bit better, but there's over 500 houses took place in the town-wide yard sale. Thank you for taking part in it, and we'll take a look at next year, and as we always do, you know, evaluate how everything went. Coming up this Saturday is, on October 16th, is our Fall Fest from 1 o'clock to 7 o'clock. Food trucks, fire pits, fireworks, all sorts of games, cornhole tournament, all sorts of different fall activities, hay maze, things like that. Please come out. That's from 1 o'clock to 7 o'clock, with fireworks being approximately 7 o'clock, 7:15. The very next day is, which is October 17th, Sunday at 1 o'clock, is our Ocean County Columbus Day Parade. It was canceled last Sunday because of the weather. So it's going to be this Sunday at 1 o'clock over in Seaside for Ocean County Columbus Day Parade. Thanks to the DPW for their construction drop-off, which we had last Saturday. Everybody, just a reminder, we have those twice a year. It's for homeowners that do work on their own. You can't get rid of construction debris because it costs so much money. But we still have two, what we call like amnesty days, one in the spring, one in the fall, and our fall one did very well. Friday, October 22nd is our trunk or treat. Please register. It's open for Brick residents only, for children to trick or treat, or trunk or treat. And that is, there's different sessions, so you do have to register in advance, as well as register if you want to have a trunk there. So business, you know, a lot of times it's businesses, but a lot of homeowners do it as well. I heard the Muppets will be there this year, a nice Muppet display.
Preview.
October 23rd, the very next day, the very next day, which is Saturday, October 23rd, is our beach sweeps. Again, you can go to Windward Beach, Brick Beach 1, Brick Beach 3, and help Clean Ocean Action with the beach sweeps. And I've been getting, there's a new business that's going to be opening. It's the week of October 18th. They haven't announced which day of that week, which is Brownstone Pancakes. So keep your eyes and ears to the ground of which day, but it's October 18th, and it's going to be a great new addition to Brick Township. There's a lot of people who are excited about it and looking forward to drinking those crazy milkshakes and eating crazy pancakes, etc. And there are a lot of people, I was getting a lot of questions about trick or treat. I don't know why, but people are like, oh, is there trick or treat in Brick this year? Yeah, we've always had trick or treat, even in 2020 when most towns didn't have it. So yes, trick or treat is happening. It is a Sunday. It's October 31st. So the other question I get is what hours? And it's common sense hours. We don't legislate kids having fun going door to door, getting candy. Hopefully parents and families have common sense and don't send their kid out at 6 a.m. But it's not something we're going to. Government involvement doesn't need to be involved with trick or treating and kids' holidays. So everybody enjoy. It's a Sunday. It's October 31st, but keep in mind that, houses. And again, if you want to be safe, like last year, a lot of people, what they were doing, even in the daytime, they would put their lights on so that families knew that maybe some families do not want to participate because of COVID still, which is obviously fine. Everybody has their own choices and opinions on that. So if you want to put on the lights to make sure everybody knows, hey, this is a house we should go to for trick-or-treating. So happy Halloween, everybody, but we'll see each other again before that.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Yes. It's on the 31st. It's a Sunday.
It's on the 31st.
You
Yeah,
go out
I don't
and
get that
shift.
question, but.
Mr. Starkey. Madam Clerk?
Nothing, thank you.
Madam Secretary?
Nothing, thanks.
Councilwoman Zapsik.
Thank you, Council President. I just want to commend our lifeguards again. They really, really do a fabulous job. They train relentlessly before the season starts, all through the season. And then as soon as one thing I learned when I was in recreation is that, the beach season starts on October 1st, and the planning goes all the way through. And even though they don't come on our payroll until the spring, they really do an incredible job. And, like I said, my earlier remarks, what happened in other communities this year really was very illuminating in terms of what we're asking these young men and women to do at 16, 17, 18 years old. So congratulations again to our Brook Lifeguards. And that's all I have tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Minikino.
Thank you. I have nothing tonight.
Councilwoman DeYoung.
Thank you. I just want to remind our seniors this Friday, October 15th through December 7th, is the Medicare open enrollment begins. And if you want to set up your appointment with Senior Services, you need, if you want to review your prescription drug coverage, your Medicare Advantage, and the Medigap plans for 2022, and all the drug coverage costs that change every year, to review your options, please. That's what our senior services workers are there for. You can call 732-920-8686 to set up an appointment with one of them. And also on October 20th is our senior Halloween event from 10 a.m. to noon. You must register to attend this event, and again, you call Senior Services at 732-920-8686. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Mumolo.
Nothing this evening.
Councilwoman Pontarera.
Thank you, Madam President. I just wanted to take a moment to thank our lifeguards. As was said tonight, they risked their lives for us this season. I couldn't believe the number of rescues that had to be implemented this year. I don't recall ever seeing this many rescues, and I just applaud these young men and women for what they do. Lord knows I couldn't do that job. This month is also Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so you'll notice that Councilwoman DeYoung and myself, and I was going to call you Councilwoman Bergen. I know you don't want an additional job. Joanne Bergen also is wearing pink, so that everyone is reminded that it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I go for my mammogram tomorrow. I know, like, you've been through cancer, you're just getting a mammogram tomorrow. Believe it or not, it's something that is not going to happen unless you yourself schedule it. So go ahead and schedule your mammograms. I think they're now decreasing the age of recommendation from 40, I think, to 37. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's getting decreased. And then last, I did say about the blessing of the animals that's being done by St. Paul's Methodist Church. They are also simultaneously having a fundraiser at the same time, and I believe it's called Pause for a Cause, and they're trying to raise money to help pay for bulletproof vests for the K-9s who attend with officers when there's a bomb threat or different types of CDS drugs. So they are trying to raise money. So if you do take advantage of the drive-through convenience of the pet blessing, maybe it's a good time to donate a little something to that charity. And last but not least, I know that everyone is saying to turn on your lights for Halloween. My other suggestion is, if you're uncomfortable with opening the door because of COVID, you could always do the old bowl of candy, take just one with like a spooky face sticker or else, something like that. So if you're not comfortable, I know you don't want to come to my door if you don't want to see that. But yes, it's just, there is an alternative. You can't put the bowl out because the kids, as a mom of 8, 9, and too big for us britches 14. It really is an important holiday for the little ones, so just think about that as an alternative. That's all I have. I know.
Thank you.
quiet.
Council Vice President Halloran.
Thank you. I just want to join in congratulating the lifeguards on their recognition, and certainly to Officer Kish for his bravery. Certainly appreciate it, and thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you. I would also, of course, like to chime in with my fellow council people and commend our lifeguards. We are a Brick Beach family. I get passes every year. We go every year, more than once a week if we can do it. And I can honestly say, since the time my children were very little until now, they're teenagers and they go way out, I have never not felt safe on that beach. I've never felt that they were ever going to be in danger. So I commend our lifeguards for that I can go and relax and not worry about when my kids are in the water. So having said that, our next council meeting will be taking place on Tuesday, October 26th at 7 p.m. Can I get a motion to adjourn? Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned. Thank you for coming out this evening.